Good day, my name is Annabelle Roberts. I am the Executive Head of PEPPS Schools in Limpopo. We have got 3 campuses, one in Leboa called Khaledwaba, one in Mokopane, and one in Polokwane. We are really excited that PEPPS Mokopane is going to be opening a college. I would really have preferred to have given this talk face-to-face on a big open event. However, COVID prevents this, so I have decided to do my slideshow as a presentation that you can watch in the comfort of your homes. What is PEPPS all about? PEPPS develops independent, critical and creative thinkers through progressive, holistic education. We are not exactly the same as every other school. Applications are open and our school can be approached from 2 different sides. If we take a look at the campus from above, you will notice that it is a school that has courts, there is a field below there, and the school can be accessed from the Percy Fife Road coming through this side and from Mahuela Ring coming through that side. At the moment, this is our hall. We have got our grade 4 to 6 classrooms up here, our grade 1 to 3 classrooms are over there, and grade R and below is over here with an administration building over there. The college is going to be built in this area over here, and we have already got an architect who is going to start working on that project. The buildings will be ready for the start of 2022. I always say that you should choose the right school for your child. Not every child is suited to every school environment, and so what I'm going to do through this presentation is to be as honest as possible about what PEPPS does. I am not going to sugarcoat anything, and I am not going to make you believe something that isn't true, and then you'll end up being disappointed. So in opening PEPPS Mokopane's college, we are going to model the school on exactly what is done at PEPPS Polokwane's college. And that is a creative, critical thinking program that we like to think creates tomorrow's leaders. Our vision is to ensure that each learner assumes individual responsibility towards creating a brighter tomorrow, and this individual responsibility is really important, that they take ownership of their own learning. And our mission is to provide a broad education in a caring environment. Our class sizes don't go over 30, and we aim for excellence and we guide pupils towards being academically, socially, physically, morally, spiritually, culturally, communally, and environmentally responsible citizens by the time they matriculate. All of these details are available on our website. We are affiliated with ISASA, which is the Independent Schools Association of South Africa, and they hold us accountable to being ethical education services providers. We offer the IEB curriculum and matric examination. Umalusi have accredited our schools, and we also belong to WESA Eco Schools, which means that we really care about our environment. Our ethos is one of care, respect, courtesy, and responsibility. We have an expectation for the pupils to care about others and their school environment, that they have respect for other people, property, and school rules. They learn to speak politely and have good manners, and they are responsible for being well presented, punctual, and always doing their best. We hold our pupils accountable to high standards. Beyond our classroom environment, most of my presentation is going to be about what happens inside the classroom, so I'm going to go the other way and just say what happens outside the classroom. Our pupils are expected to be physically active and involved in our sporting activities. They are also encouraged to get involved in our cultural program, and they have opportunities for community outreach projects during the year. We also have a formalized leadership program, and our motto is creating tomorrow's leaders, and we don't just do that in a wish. We have a structured program where each grade learns various characteristics around developing their leadership qualities. inside the classroom, PEPPS is not has not lost any educational days since the start of COVID. We are completely committed to maintaining an excellent education on campus and sometimes online. We don't prefer to be online. But because we are a digitally literate school, it is recommended that our families have reasonably good access to data and that the pupils are able to access data from time to time. They don't have to live stream everything, but there must be some data. Academics is our core business. As much as the other things that we do are important to developing the whole child, we are very focused on our academic program. So what is PEPPS selling exactly? We develop independent, critical, and creative thinkers through progressive, holistic education. We give a modern product that is comparable with some of the best schools around the world, and certainly we are very competitive in South Africa. This butterfly is to symbolize the idea that as pupils go through our school, they emerge wonderful and beautiful and fully metamorphosized. I think we can all confess to the fact that one of the reasons we're looking at an independent school is because the South African education system is somewhat broken. We can be a little bit concerned about what is happening there. Pupils are bored. It's a bit of a production line, just getting children in, getting them out. It's not unworkable. Pupils really do learn things along the way, but I don't believe that it is optimized. I don't think it prepares pupils for a future that they are going to experience. There is really no opportunities for creativity as such. It's just pass, study, work, get through an exam. And pessimists would say that if we risk change, it won't work, so let's not change. And I use the word grow to represent change. I think change allows us to grow. And I am an optimist, and I say that change can fix the problem. And it's only true if we gain knowledge and try something different. So at PEPPS Polokwane, which is what we plan to do at PEPPS Mokopane, we have made measured changes and we've improved our knowledge, and we are trying our very best to offer an improved education. These are modern worldviews on what education should be offering the workplace, skills that people are going to require in the future. Nowhere does it say memorization of facts and giving them back without being able to look up information. We live in a Google world where we need to be able to get hold of information, analyze it, and access it, collaborate so that we can give effective information to people, coming up with new ideas, being able to change and be flexible, and being able to be problem solvers who can critically think. This cartoon shows little children coming into our school system with bright colors and big smiles, and after they've been forced into a way of thinking, they do not seem very happy, and this is not what PEPPS is about. We really do try to grow open-minded children who will ultimately be contributors to adult society. So, what did we think the next right move in education was, and what have we started in PEPPS Polokwane? We could have either kept things all the same, even though we were disillusioned and we didn't feel that our pupils were prepared for the future, or we tried something completely different. And this is what I really need to explain to families so that they do understand that in coming to PEPPS, your child will not be doing exactly what they see people doing in other schools that they are neighboring. PEPPS prepares pupils for the future. We try and be creative and exciting, and we are doing things differently. I am convinced that we can change the outmoded education style, and I am endorsed by the chairman of the PEPPS board, Dr. Alela Dwaba, who, when we first suggested the idea of project-based learning, said the following to me: We are not supposed to be certificating pupils. We should be educating them. And PEPPS really does look at how to truly educate pupils. At the same time, we don't lose sight of the fact that really, in South Africa, without the necessary certificate, there are few things people can do. So we do look out for the certificate as well, matric. So how do things look in our classrooms? Teachers are not the epicenter of knowledge, the internet is. Every pupil has their own laptop and they work at their own pace gaining information. So they are guided to find information. Our modern pupils have become consumers, and they consume television, they consume computers, they consume games, and they are less and less willing to engage and take responsibility for their own learning unless that is forced upon them. So we tell them less and expect them to discover more. And they are expected to use technological creativity and be digitally fluent. The future will require people to be able to use digital media in their workspaces. So, English, mathematics, and Afrikaans or Sepedi are taught conventionally. They look very much like the normal curriculum. They are taught according to the expectations that are outlined by the South African curriculum. In mostly, a little bit more time is given to those subjects so that the skills are enhanced. And then the rest of our learning happens at our own discretion. We are an independent school, and independent schools have license to do things a little bit differently, as long as we are not inferior to the government. And I'll speak about that a little bit more. So we do something different. We've modified things to create an educational excellence that we believe in. We teach skills through content. So the content's not important. Just giving me the facts back is not the most important part of learning, but rather the skills are the most important thing. Pupils are taught to research, they are taught to reconfigure information into interesting ways and creatively present what they have found out. So the content transfers important skills for the future to the pupils. What will the pupils need to come into grade 8 at PEPPS Mokopane? Each pupil will need their own laptop because we do a lot of digital work, and they will require their own basic stationery. The laptop can be any brand, and it has to be a minimum of an i3. Low-end i3s can come in at around 5,000 Rand, and we acknowledge that this is a layout of money. However, it is necessary for progressive education. And we're trying to do something small just to try and help families save a bit. The grade 8s will not have to buy a blazer. Blazers normally retail for near 1,000 Rand. So we want to save that for the families. And we're also saying that those pupils who are coming from PEPPS Mokopane from grade 7 can wear their prep school uniform until they grow out of that one and then move over to the college. We are very aware of costs and expenses. All of the workbooks and textbooks are provided and included in the fee structure. What do we get out of our different style of education? We get pupils who can think, and they can take responsibility for their own education. We are now 4 years into this process at PEPPS Polokwane, and we're finding pupils who can interact with grade 10, 11, and 12 much more meaningfully and independently. They are able to think for themselves. We are anticipating better matric results from pupils who've gone through project-based learning, and they definitely, we know, will be able to cope in the real world and at tertiary institutions much better than their peers who have simply learnt from a textbook. So what have we come across with PEPPS Polokwane? And as I've said, PEPPS Mokopane College will mimic PEPPS Polokwane. We are definitely going to be sharing resources across schools, sharing the way that we timetable and the way that we teach. PEPPS writes the IB matric exam, which is largely considered to be a more rigorous exam. PEPPS Polokwane has habitually achieved mathematics averages and distinction percentages equivalent to or above the IB. We also habitually achieve a 100% matric pass rate. I just want to compare that to the national pass rate of 76%. And this is a more impressive figure. Our bachelor pass rate at PEPPS Polokwane is habitually over 85%, where the national bachelor pass rate was only 29% last year. This makes a huge difference because it gives people the passport they need to go on to study at a tertiary institution and therefore set themselves up for future employment success. Our very first grade 8 Creating Tomorrow cohort, in other words, they started grade 8 with projects, are flourishing in grade 11, and if we look at their grade 11 results, they are forecast to be our highest results ever achieved at PEPPS Polokwane. So we really are feeling encouraged by the results that we are seeing from what turned out looked like it might be a risk in terms of trying to educate differently to how the rest of the country is being educated. One of the things I said at that stage is that I don't think we can hold the South African government education up as the gold standard, and therefore we should allow ourselves to accept some difference from that. It is never easy to embrace change, but to stay still is certain death. We need to move forward, and that is what PEPPS is doing. If nothing ever changed, there would be no butterflies, and I take you back to the butterfly picture that I had near the beginning, saying that we are going to come out metamorphosized from a PEPPS education. PEPPS offers an alternative education, and it is not conventional, but it does serve to get excellent matric results in the end. What about the finances? I know lots of parents are asking these questions. Firstly, PEPPS is administered by a trust. It is not owned by anybody or any group, and nobody financially benefits from the school. Every cent of fee income gets reinvested in the development of the school and giving things to the pupils over time. So we try to keep our fees as low as possible while holding high quality. We give no bursaries or scholarships, and this results in every family paying fairly for their own child's education and not subsidizing other children coming to the school. That also tries to keep our fees lower than most of an equivalent standard. The school remains responsible for paying all salaries, utilities, running expenses, infrastructure development costs. We are not sponsored by an external organization such as a church or anything else. So all expenses have to be covered by fee income, which is paid by the parents. We try to minimize add-ons on the fee account, and this helps our families to budget, so you don't every month get another, this book was added, this textbook got added, this piece of information was now on my fee account. We try to keep that to an absolute minimum. So what are the fees looking like for 2022? We haven't finalized them, but they will be in the region of 3,100 Rand per month over 11 months, payable in advance, January to November. Just to contextualize this, I want people to know that the Polokwane College fees are 6,000 Rand per month. It's a much bigger campus to maintain, and we run a larger extracurricular program, and of course we also are going all the way up to matric. But I really want to contextualize that 3,100 Rand for a private high school education is not expensive, and I urge you to research fees of other independent schools in our province and in our country. There are some independent schools that are currently charging around 17,000 Rand and upward of that per month in the major centers such as Gauteng and Natal and the Cape. So we really do need to realize that to get a quality education for this amount is a huge advantage. There is a once-off admission fee of 1,600 Rand. Pupils who are moving from grade 7 at PEPPS Mokopane to grade 8 will not pay that admission fee. They are already admitted to PEPPS. And then How do we communicate with our parent body and with our pupils? PEPPS is an eco school, so we try not to use a lot of paper. Families must have a reliable email address and a phone that works where we can send SMSs. For the pupils, homework gets shared via My Homework and Google Classroom. In the high school, it is essential that a pupil has got some access to data in order to stay connected with the school even when they are at home doing some homework. And then we're really proud and happy about the fact that we have a real-time assessment result sharing program called ADAM. And that means that if a teacher marks a test today, they will put those marks up, and you don't have to wait for a report only once a term to see how your child is doing. You get real-time informed progress on each pupil in the school, and that is a huge communication technique to help the parents, the teachers, and the pupil to work together towards the success of a child. So, if you're coming from an external place, internal applications, you're already on the system and simply need to let the school know that you'll be back next year. External applications can be done online via our website, which is www.pepps.co.za. And then we will ask each pupil to complete a screening test. This helps us to benchmark our cohort and make sure that we are setting everybody up for success. Here is the online application URL that can be used, and that is our website over there. And this information is available on a number of media platforms at the moment. So, I hope right at the beginning I started off by saying that every family must choose a school that works for their family. I hope that what I have said encourages you and helps you to think that a PEPPS education is exactly what your grade 8 pupil needs in 2022. God bless and keep you during these challenging times. We look forward to having you join us.